Actually, the prerequisite is to learn at least the basic Java for the Hadoop. If you want to learn the big data technology, at least we need a basic Java, okay, the core Java, I can say.
Yeah.
Okay. You can refresh your tech, or you can just go through the documents to learn core Java. Okay. At least that will help you to understand this coding part. The reason is this is on Java. The Hadoop is on top of Java. Okay, so at least you should have some basic understanding. I'm not telling a deep understanding. So the basic understanding is required for the Hadoop, the Java understanding.
Okay.
Okay.
So, so whatever I need the Java, you say not the advanced level of that, but the basic things. So, can I expect that you will help me for learning Java?
Yeah, that you can. I don't have an issue to teach you Java, but you can just talk to that concerned person. So I think you are already communicated, right, regarding this Hadoop session, big data technology. So just you can talk to them, and if they ask me to teach, definitely I don't have issues.
Okay, okay. But also you will please, you also communicate with them, because if the prerequisite of the big data is the Java, then I think it's not my correct choice. So I need to go for Java first, if it is your suggestion. Right?
Yes, yes, yes. At least the basic Java.
Okay. Okay, so I will communicate with them, and now just let me see some demo things. Then
Yeah. We'll go ahead with the demo session.
Yeah.
But whatever the prerequisite, that's what I'm telling. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Not actually. I'm just seeing something is written that schedule a session right from your calendar. No, that's not the screen actually.
I already shared with all of you.
Okay.
I think you have to go to some other screen.
Attendance. No, I'm not being able to see. Because I know how does these predict things look like, but they usually do have another big screen on the beside of this, the little control panel, but I'm not being able to see anything, and it is written just connect to go to meeting or some things like this. And let me try in another way. No, I tried, but I couldn't. I think that depends on the organizer. So who is the organizer for today's session? That's you or someone else?
Let me. You're also organizer.
No, someone is communicating with me, and he said that. I think you can see the chatting. I was doing some chatting with him. I don't know what's his name.
Okay.
I think I need to communicate with him because here are 3 participants, you, me, and someone else.
Yeah. I think they are the organizers to conduct this meeting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, now I can see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what do you know about the big data? I think you're already working on that R and ETL, right? I think you would be having at least some basic understanding about big data technology.
Okay, just explain this one, then I will understand why really, whatever I know, at least the similar things or not.
Okay. So yeah, the big data is nothing but now if you observe that any industry, the data is growing like anything. So to handle the data, we need some technology. Earlier we had few technologies to handle big data, but that is not the complete solution for all our problems what we are facing now. So that is the reason the Hadoop came into the picture, which will help us to do the analysis and process the data and get the final output. So let's see what is there. So first understand what is the data. As we know, the data is nothing but everything, whatever the company or whatever the industry is dealing with the customers. Like let's assume if it is a telephonic banking sector, the customer information like a customer profile and customer records, transaction information, everything is nothing but the data. If it is some other industry, for example, insurance industry, the claim information, right, the patient information, the medicine information, all the stuff is the data. So we have to maintain the data and process it and give the information to the customer or to get the final output out of the huge amount of data. We are using some technologies earlier, but that is not the complete solutions. So the big data came into the picture. But here the data is nothing but anything which is related to the customer and industry or the company or the government. Anything is related to the information. So that is called data. In our example, we have taken like insurance and the travel and the sales and the chart like a statements. Everything we are treating as a data. That is called data.
Yes.
And so where the data is generating nowadays, where the huge amount of data is generating. So if you observe, this slide is telling like a few websites or few companies which are very famous in the market for the data generation. So the Facebook, SMS, Twitter, YouTube. So these are all these are all companies are generating huge amount of data. If there's a Facebook, right, there are many users are joining and sharing their information, tweeting each other, right.
Yeah.
That is everything is data. Even if you log in after a few months or a few days or after years also, you can see what happened in your account, like what the people are sharing. So everything they are maintaining as a data. So let's assume like in the Facebook, every day the data is growing on it. Right? There is no chance of reducing the data, because even if you tweet at least one tweet to the friend, they have to maintain, they should keep the data, and whenever you relog into the Facebook, they have to show that, right? So these are the areas, major areas like YouTube. This is one of the area, right? Because when you are sharing this one video or audio, most probably video only, that is it's a big size, right? Like for example, if it is a text or simple tweet, let's assume that there would be in the KBs or less than that. But in the YouTube, the videos are big size, like a 500 MB, 600 MB, GBs, even more than GBs. So they have to maintain the that information, videos information, the stream information in their database. Again, they have to maintain that, they have to process it, and whenever is user asking to watch or see that, they have to give it back. So this is nothing but these are all areas wherein the data is growing. So again, these are all places the data is very important for the users. So this is nothing but the data, and this is how the data is growing. Like what are the challenges we are having? The data, regarding data. So the challenges are the volume, the velocity, variety, and complexity. So these are the basic challenges if the data is growing in any industry. If you have any doubts, just you can stop me, ask the question. I don't have any issues.
Oh no, not yet. Yeah.
Yeah. So the volume, velocity, rate, and complexity. These are the major challenges when we are having the data. The first one is the volume. It is growing. The data is growing. So when it is growing, whatever the environment is there with us, the hardware environment to handle that data, to keep the data, it should support it should support. Otherwise, what happens? The data is growing, but our environment is not able to maintain that, accommodate that much of data, so it will be difficult. And likewise, that is for that applicable for the velocity. Right, and the variety. If you have multiple different kind of data, for example, the data would be in the stream format, the data would be in the byte format, the data would be in the text format. So any kind of format, it should support it. Our environment should accommodate any kind of format. And the complexity. The complexity in the sense, sometimes you would be getting the data in the database format, sometimes you would be getting the data in the fixed width format, sometimes it would be some there is no format at all. It's a simple text kind of thing. So that kind of situation also, we should be in a position to handle the data and give the output to the user. So these are the major challenges which we have currently to handle the data. So how we are handling earlier and how it is now, we'll see that. So we are having few options like grid computing, cloud computing, right? Some open source softwares, virtualization, and innovation in BA, the BA tools, DU appliance, right? These are the few solutions which we had. But if you observe, the first one is helping us to handle only volume. Grid computing, in the sense we are having the group of missions. If you want to increase the capacity of that grid computing, we can call grid, so you can add more missions, then you can accommodate more data. But unfortunately, here we are not just taking care about this velocity, variety, and complexity. That is the reason the grid computing is not the solution for the big data.
Okay.
The cloud computing, it's only handle the velocity and volume, right? Not for the other things, the complexity and all. Likewise, if you observe, the remaining parts are not helping us to handle the big data with all the solutions. So let's understand what is the big data now. So here, if it is a ERP, enterprise applications, we are having some purchase detail, purchase record, some information, right, payment information. That information would be in the megabytes, not so much information. When it comes to the CRM application, like the customer information, supporting information, that offer details, all the things will be maintained by the CRM applications. The CRM application generally maintains the gigabytes. When it comes to the web, we know the web is maintaining more data that would be in the terabytes. Right? Megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes. When it comes to the big data, that's what we discussed, like SMS, images, videos, right? Sentiments, mobile information. Right? These are all come under big data, wherein the data always grows. There is no chance of decreasing or reducing. So the data would be in the petabytes. Whatever the environment we are using, that should be support this kind of data, huge amount of data, and the challenges which we are having. The complexity it should maintain. It has to support the different kind of data. Likewise, it has to support all the things. Then only we can give the proper solution to the user.
Okay.
Okay, how the sentiment is there in the market, like what is the scope of big data, why we are learning the big data, that is also one of the important, right? If the market is good, if the companies are hiring the big data consultants or big data developers, then only best like to learn the big data technology, otherwise no point of learning. So here if you observe year by year, the requirement, the scope, it is growing. Actually the resources are in the market is less, but the requirement for the companies are more. That is the reason that the companies are looking for the big data developers. If you observe, by 2015 the market, it would be in the millions, that is 16,920. It means we're having like a huge amount of scope. If you're learning big data, then we'd be having a very good opportunity to join in a very good industry organization. So definitely we are having a very good future for the big data technology. That's what this slide tells. And what is the big data, and what are the companies are working already? Are there any companies are started working or not? The answer is there are few companies which will help to set up the big data technology in our environment. So directly setting up the big data is very difficult. The reason is we need a proper consultants, first of all, the certified or qualified consultant to set up the environment, and that's very difficult because we have to set up the same environment on multiple missions across all the missions to execute the big data. That I can explain later once I explain the HDFS architecture. So here there are few companies which already provide the distributions. They are providing the distributions which will help us to set up the big data very easily, and whatever they are giving the distribution which is having the Hadoop technology and few other technologies which will help us to minimize our coding and increasing the performance. So those are all called distributions. I think you heard about this Hortonworks, Cloud Air Enterprise, right? This MapR. These are the few distributions which are very famous in the market. So what we can do is we directly buy that distribution and install and set up that distribution in our environment. So the Hadoop is ready. We can just start the coding and all. So what is there in their distributions? Let's see. If you observe, this is Oracle Integrated Software Solution Tank, which is having the Hadoop. Along with the Hadoop, they are giving some support, other support, like that is the Oracle BI tools, Oracle database tools, right? Some DB support. So if our Hadoop our requirement is very closely working with the Oracle related stuff like Oracle DB and all, so we can choose these distributions. Once we get the distributions, so they are providing all the support for the Hadoop as well as with the Oracle database. So it's all about our requirement, it's all about our choice to choose which distribution we have to use. So if our requirement is needed for some support from the Oracle, then we can choose this distribution.
So is this not depends on the companies? First, the company. Suppose when you will be working on under a company, when I will get a job, then does it not depends on that company what they will provide as a working environment?
That is depends upon the company only. For example, you are working in the X company, so they want to they selected distribution is the Oracle distribution. So you would be having this environment. Anyway, whatever the distribution they are using, definitely you would be having this Hadoop and this HDFS. The remaining part is, for example, their data is there in some Oracle database. So they want to connect with the database and pull the data from there and store into the HDFS. But again, what they do, they will be using this distribution because which is having the Oracle connectors and Oracle all the stuff. So it is easy to connect with the database and get the information. So it's all about their choice, what they are selecting. Okay, this is the Cloud Era. The Cloud Era is also one of the famous one in the market, which is having all the Hadoop technology stuff. Hui, Hive, Pig, Mahout, MapReduce 1, MapReduce 2, and Zookeeper. So there are some ecosystems which are developed on top of Hadoop, which will help us. For example, if you learn the Hadoop, so you will be writing the coding in the Java, right? For example, if you want to do some join on the data sets, it takes like you have to write at least some 50 to 60 lines to write. Rather than writing the 50-60 line code, what we can do is simply we can use any one of the ecosystems like Pig and Hive. These are these ecosystems like similar to SQL. So what we can do with the Hive and Pig or other ecosystems, we can simply write a query, simple query, like how we are writing in the SQL. We can just execute it. So once we start executing on it, it will start the executing, and behind the scene it will generate the MapReduce program. Again, ultimately when you are running this ecosystem background, it will generate the MapReduce program and it will be executed on the data sets. But as a programmer, you no need to bother about like the coding part. Simply you can write this in your logic, simple script.
Okay.
Okay. These are the ecosystems which are developed on top of Hadoop, the third parties. Currently the famous one is the Hive and the Pig. Likewise, they are giving all the support, like all the ecosystems, whatever we required, and they are giving the RDBMS, ETS connectors, BA connectors. So these are all the connectors. So we can easily integrate with the ETL, RDBMS, BI, all that stuff. This is also one of the famous distribution in the market. The other one is the Hortonworks. So Hortonworks also similar to the above two things, that is Oracle Stack and the Cloudera. Again, they are giving some enterprise support, right? And the storage and processing, Hadoop, platform services, and the Hadoop operation services and data services. So they divided like the kind of services which they are giving, that is the platform services, operation services, and data services, along with the Hadoop. Okay. We can use any one of these distribution. The same for the MapReduce. MapReduce, if you observe, the MapReduce is also having all the ecosystems: Hive, Pig, Uzi, Scoop, HBase, and Mahout, cascading, HCatalog, right? All the stuff which is available in the MapReduce. So MapReduce, actually my company is using the MapReduce because initially this was the approved when we started the project. So these are the famous distributions in the market. We can use any one of that. And big data use cases. So the big data use case in the sense where the big data and how the data is generating, and what are the industries or what are the sectors are need the big data technology. So if you see the healthcare department, healthcare is nothing but like we know that is they have to maintain the patient information and the clinical support systems and everything medical information, right? And they have to maintain some research information as well to find out what is the new medicine and all. So definitely the healthcare is having the huge amount of data to maintain the patient information, starting from the patient information to that medicine information. So definitely the data will be generated over here. They have to maintain the data. Again, if the patient comes back to the hospital or this is healthcare system, they should be in a position to trace out the patient history, like what kind of disease he is having and all. So this is what about the healthcare industry. And we know this marketing, definitely we have to market, they should maintain the customer information, what are the previous transactions, what are the market sentiments, and what is the store behavior, means how much they are selling, what kind of goods they are selling more, and what kind of goods they are selling less, right? Across the world, what are the branches are there, what is the behavior of the branches, like behavior in the sense, the selling capacity, right? Where we have to invest more money, where we can reduce more money, like they should maintain this information, the customer information and all. So the retail industry also is needed a big data technology to support all this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That is applicable for the manufacturing and the public sector. Public sector also we know, right? This is some, they have to maintain the traffic information,
Yeah.
and the people information, and where the services are available, public services are available for the people, what kind of services they are getting and all. That information should be maintained by the public sector. So they need a big data technology to handle all of this.
In this part, may I ask you something? In finance and banking and stock market, so is this, they also, do they need to apply the data technology?
Yes, yes, yes. Now, one of the sector, like a banking sector, they need a big data, right? Definitely they need a big data technology. They are migrating slowly nowadays.
For in stock market?
Stock marketers, of course, they need a big data. I think they already started implementing, but what they have done, as you know, like they are using the ETL technology or Teradata technology, but now they started migrating to the big data technologies.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. The big data technology recently started, right?
Yeah,
Earlier
no,
it was not.
no, because I'm asking you because I did some research work on this, the predicting stock prices, that is, and another one was like the risk analysis, but I am not known about this one.
Okay, okay. So this is what the introduction about the big data. I hope you understood like what is the big data now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's see what is there inside the. So as we know, there are two parts, major parts in the big data technology in the Hadoop. Okay, the first one is MapReduce. And the second one is HDFS. So these are the two major parts for the big data technology. Okay, so what the MapReduce does and what the HDFS does. So the MapReduce is basically for the programming technology, programming, so which will help us to write the logic to process the data, big data. So basically what it does, whatever the business logic, business requirement is there, that can be written in the MapReduce. That MapReduce jobs will be executed on the data, so finally it will generate the output. The MapReduce is basically to apply our business logic on the data sets. And when it comes to the HDFS is basically for to maintain the data. So whatever the data is coming, we should keep the data in some location, right? Like our environment. That will be maintained by the HDFS. So the HDFS is nothing but the group of machines which will help us to store the information.
I mean storage.
Storage, exactly. Okay. But this is a different, slightly different architecture which is having than regular storage. Whatever we are using, it is not similar to the HDFS.
Okay.
Okay. I will give you the brief introduction on MapReduce and HDFS. Detailed discussion we'll be having later.
Okay.
The MapReduce. So when you are giving the output in the MapReduce, so let's assume this is the map, and this is the input. It goes to the map, and then it will go to the reducer. Finally it gives the output. So this is the first step, our input. So this input first step is to go to map. Finally it will give the output. It will go to the reducer, and then it gives the output. Right, this is the structure. So whatever the text file or some input we are giving, first it goes to the map, wherein the mapping part, arrangement part, and filtering part has to be taken care. So the logic should be in such a way to handle the data or to filter the data, and The filter data should go to the reducer. The actual business logic will be applied in the reducer part. So finally the reducer will generate the output and it will be saved in some location. Okay, so what we are doing in the map, so let's assume I want to find out so-and-so date and so-and-so data. For example, let's assume this is the input is nothing but some database kind of thing fixed with some delimiter, comma delimiter or pipe delimiter data. So I want to find out on 31st night what are the tweets are there like related to the Happy New Year or something. So what I will do is in the map phase I will check out the timestamp for the only 31st and I will take it that values, only that values, and I will create one map. That map will be passed to the reducer. In the reducer, whatever the particular tweets or particular information you want, just you can pull that, and finally the information you can save into the text file. That will be the output. So yeah.
So over here I have a question. So actually this big data analysis helps people to take decision, right?
No. It never helps to take the decision. That will be taken care by the analysis or analytic tools, right? We are having some analytic tools, right? This big data is for the processing the data.
Oh, okay. Only the data processing. Okay.
Data processing. Okay. This is for the map reduce and HDFS. The HDFS design is like this. One name node and multiple data nodes. So basically this name node and data node, actually the HDFS is having one name node which is the metadata information about the data, actual data. So for example I have files, those files will be placed into these name nodes, data nodes, where the files are available in the particular data nodes, information maintained by the name node. So for example I have one file A. That file A is placed in, for example, data node 1 and data node 3. So where these files are available, that information maintained in the name node. So again if I come back and ask where the file A is there, then this name node tells us data node 1 and data node 3 is having the file information. Okay. So I will explain in detail in the next session about this name node and all, how it works and how the data stores and all. So this is the high level architecture for the map reduce and HDFS.
Okay.
That's all for today.
Okay. Okay, so just I want to ask you something. So I will talk to that person, his name is Mehdi, about the basic, I mean, you were suggesting me to take care of the very basic things of Java, right? And then you're suggesting me when I'll be ready with Java, then I can assume those big data, right?
Yes. Definitely. The reason is the big data, we are writing the program in Java. If you are not understanding the Java, so
yeah,
I can say that it's very difficult. Yeah, it's very difficult to write the programs in big data, Hadoop particularly.
Oh yeah. So okay. So yeah, in this case, I have to learn about this Java, then about big data. And now another question about the big data. I don't know actually. I heard about this big data, but by using this big data, actually in practical field, what people are doing.
Yeah, I will explain one scenario. Like for example, in our company, what we are doing is we are getting the information. I am working in the insurance industry. So wherein what we do is we are getting the huge amount of data about the insurance, like the claim information and all. So the customer needs some reports out of this information. So we are, for example, we are having some 20 tables or 15 tables likewise. So we pull all the data from the 20 tables periodically, and we are applying some joins across all the tables, and whatever the fields he wants. For example, I have table A and a table B. Table A, some ID is matching with the table B with some
Is it the
ID.
ETL? I mean, the ETL testers are doing the same thing.
Yeah. I think yes. But
yeah, the joining the multiple tables. Yeah.
Multiple tables. So that is our requirement. So finally, we'll be generating the output and give it to the reports to the user. We can do the same thing with other technologies, but the thing is handling
Big data.
Yeah, big data Hadoop.
Okay.
So parallelly, few processes started, and the time will be taken less.
Oh, I mean, you are differentiating in that way. Suppose when the data was not so big, not so critical, then there were so many technologies that people can do the same thing. But now for the big data, you are using the technology which is Hadoop, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I have another class again. Okay.
Okay. Sure, no problem.
Thank
So,
you. Nice
thank you. Nice to talk. No, I think how can we end this session? Because I just need to cross it out. I will just cross it out, or I have to wait for the organizer then.
We can. I think end the session directly. Just you can drop off from the session. Automatically, the organizer will take care.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Nice talking to you.
Thank you.